you about sales. Can I just get a show of hands who works in sales or who likes sales at least? All right, this is most of you. Some of you don't like sales. All right, okay. Cool, so that's gonna be a good session for you. So if you hate what I'm saying, just raise your hand and I'll stop, okay? Just pause me right there. Okay, I'm gonna kick it off. Maybe just a little bit about me. So I joined Staffbase 1.5 years ago as the head of sales. We have now combined the role with customer success, which includes the consulting unit, the customer success unit, and other teams that support our customers in their deployment journey. I started my career, apart from building my own company initially, but then I went into Accenture as a consultant. I was actually a consultant for SharePoint, so a lot of those little pieces hopefully resonate. So I was on the side of the table where you are, the partners. So I was in the system integration business, and I worked with companies like Staffbase back then, whom we were implementing as part of our program. So I hopefully can relate to where you're coming from. That's what I'm trying to do. I believe in the partnerships. I'm really happy we are here today, and thank you for coming over. I believe that this is one of the very important way of us to go to market and basically build out more success stories with our customers. And so what today is going to be about, maybe me opening with just a couple of minutes of a few things I want to share with you. But then I wanted to ask you to ask any questions and just have a conversation here in the room, not in a one-on-one setting. I'll try to answer, but I appreciate some of those questions might be taken over into the over beer later, and happy to do this. Oh, wine. I think it's wine, not beer. So we can do it over wine as well, all right? Okay, so this doesn't work. Maybe Ruth, if you don't mind clicking the button. Yeah, there you go. So I'll start with the fact that Staffbase is growing. So when I started in the company in last year in March, we were just about maybe 70 people in sales. So we're over 200 people in sales right now. The company, the first week when I joined, we have closed our Series D investment, and we have also acquired a business called Banana Tech, which is the email part of our business. That was my week one, so that was a fantastic start in the company. All this going on, investors asking what my plans were, and I was like, I don't know. I just came in, who knows? And we try to figure it out all the way through. Things are constantly changing, constantly growing. So, and that's what's been happening. It's a journey. It's an ever-changing journey. And I would say the change is something that I would say is impacting all of us. It's impacting us internally, but it's also impacting you. But it's something that is not going to go away. So what I'm not going to promise to you today is that things will stay as they were. Things will be changing as we go, because I'll talk about our category, and that's something that we will be leading towards. It's something we're building, okay? Our partner business has grown a lot. What you see over here is the size of the enterprise deals, but also the number of partner deals we're bringing in. So if you look at the year-on-year growth, we have grown the partner business in the subscription revenue. I know that's not talking your revenue, which is sometimes the implementation work, but in the subscription business, it's grown over 100%. So the partner business is growing faster than the entire company. Okay, I just wanted to say that because this is an area where we are growing most, and that's thanks to you. So it matters to me. It matters to me a lot, and I want to keep outgrowing the rest of the business because it's the right channel to do it. Okay, it's the scale we're looking for. All right. In March this year, apart from like I say, previous acquisition that was Valo, we talked about this earlier, which you know, then Derico, we also announced Series E, and we have been, our valuation has moved to a unicorn status, which is very important in the world of SaaS, which only there's kind of an elite club of vendors that have grown in terms of the valuation above $1 billion. So it's a big valuation, but it's also a big responsibility. But it's also a vote of the investment community that they believe in the story that you've got. They believe in what you're building, and that's something that I live with every day. I do believe in what we're doing, and I hope the employee communications and communications overall is something that we all believe in and will all build towards. Okay. The thing that, I'll go back to my Accenture years when I was asking myself, what is it that I would love to tell you today that I think you will care about most? And I think that's where you have an opportunity for you, where we have an opportunity together for our prospects and customers, and also that's also has to do with where I have an opportunity to work with you. So I would start in the innovation space. I would start in the partnership with the customer, being a strategic partner to what our customers do. For me, this is about innovation. To me, it's about doing things the customers won't figure out on their own. These are the stories of the DHL you mentioned earlier, where next time you've got someone delivering a parcel to you, they will have an app on their mobile phone, and that app is Staffbase, and they don't know it, and that's cool. I don't want them to know it. That's because it looks like DHL, and that's about 600,000 people who are using this app on their mobiles today. And that innovation happened because we have a partner sitting in the room, MMS, that helped us get it delivered. But as I learned earlier as well, we have another partner, Hirschtech here, who allegedly did the analysis before this program rolled out. So you got multiple of our partners working on this together. So Pia told me earlier, I don't know where she sits now, there she is. Right, she corrected me on that one, that they also have a stake in this one. And that's awesome, that's a story I absolutely love. Then we also have from the Valo space, like intranets, how important they are to the usage. And we have a partner, APC, and basically one of their customers, 2,200 people, is the Sure Flexible. I think it's a Austrian partner sitting over here. There they are. There you go. And I use your story because I love that story of the internet and adoption that actually led to a company of 2,200 people spread across multiple countries, 69,000 views of their front page in 1 month. That is a fantastic story. So I absolutely love this. So I borrowed it for this session. So well done. This is the kind of innovation that our customers do with you. Yeah, and with us, because we want to be part of the story, but you're leading that story, and that's something we can continue doing together. The other part has to do with the implementation service, particularly. So we have a partner, I think somewhere in the room, Modus. I don't know if they could raise their hand. Modus is a North American partner, and we have partnered with at a customer called Aldi. So some of you will know the supermarket chain, and we have business with them in EMEA, in North America. And in North America, they needed basically a plugin into the Staffbase app, which allowed their hourly workers to manage their shifts. And Modus came in and built that plugin, and that's being used by their employees in the North American market. Frank was talking about Alaska Airlines, which we have closed just a couple of weeks ago, and Modus came in to help us deliver another project. So that's something where we keep delivering, we're doing more together. This is a fantastic story of a partner that builds something here, and then we can go and use that capability, their skills in other accounts. So we also have Hirschtech I mentioned earlier, Sartorius with another deal which we have closed together, and a very complex implementation. Kind of the IT team, sometimes you wish you didn't have to work with, because sometimes they feel like they don't want to actually deploy it, right? So maybe almost going against the stream, but that project is live now, and 83% weekly active users using Staffbase. So that's absolutely excellent. So well done to that team. Yes, there you go. And they're just gone live, so it's only going to get better. So this is the partnerships I'm talking about. This is where Staffbase is so happy to see that you take our business forward and you do something super cool with our customers, okay? So when you look at the last pillar, which is the resale and referral, and that might not be core to many of your businesses, right? Because you are system integrators. So you are looking at the work that you do with customers, and that's absolutely cool. But there is still the resale value, which you're gonna be paid on, and hopefully that's incentivized enough to go and resell or refer the licenses. And so we had 3 million euro of business going through the partner channel just this year, okay? That is the sort of volume we're talking about, and it's growing. I said it's growing over 100% year on year. So that's a huge opportunity, huge value for you, and that's just the resale part of it. I'm not talking about value that these projects deliver. That comes on top. Okay. So yeah, the opportunity is big, but it's not just about and click. That doesn't work. Okay, thank you, Ruth. Saving me over here. Okay, we went too far. Oh, okay, here. This one is the one I want to go in. So that's the opportunity in the business, but I don't want us to just talk about sort of where we go and make money. I also want us to talk about why we're doing this. And for me, that's about the employee communication space. So I'm really excited about this space. I think it's critical. I think it's strategic. I came to join Staffbase because when I heard what Staffbase does, I could see how I could sell it. That's important for me. I need to believe in it so I can sell it to someone. Okay, employee communications is a strategic initiative. It's not the workplace teamwork, and that's super important. But employee communications is different. It's something that's strategic to the leadership of every company when they want to change the way they operate, the way they work, the acquisitions they're going to make. These are the announcements that are going to go through these channels. And if those announcements are communicated right, the employees get engaged, they don't leave, they stay, right? This is actually a good thing. And it's in the market where we are, where everyone is fighting to find the employees, this just is super important. So we're building a category that has not existed just a few years ago. This is a new category. Now, because I'm asking you to come and help me build a new category, we'll do this together, you are going to run into situations where people don't understand what it is that you're talking about, because they can't refer that category. Yeah, they have to understand the change that you're bringing in. Fortunately, we already start seeing some of the gardeners and the foresters to show us what the opportunity is. And what you see there on the top right corner, and I promise that is not the slide that you will see today. I stole it from Lara. She will be presenting after me. She was going to make a joke on me stealing slides, so I stole it away. And I said, I know I stole it. I did it on purpose. She will talk to you about it later. So Forrester is already talking about employee comms category. It's talking about this category being underdeveloped. That's awesome, because if it's underdeveloped, that means a lot of opportunity we can go and build together. Price-wise, it thinks it's in the right range, which is also good news, right? And they feel that it is something that is going to lead to big market opportunities. So if Forrester believes in it and Gartner believes in it, and I believe in it, and I hope you believe in it, there's something in here. So we just have to go and build it together, okay? So this slide is just a call to action for you to come and help me build it, help us build it together, because there's a lot of opportunity in there. But I'm saying it's not going to be a straight play of a playbook that's been created before. It's a new playbook we have to build. Okay? And I'm going to pause over here, and we can open it up for questions. So I'm not sure if anyone will send any questions, or how we're going to do this. This is me coming maybe half prepared. Maybe Frank had something he wanted to start first, so we'll start there.
I volunteered to have the opening question. My former consulting self, I worked with a lot of tech partners, and always one thing that was like the sales world of the software and the sales world of a consulting company. One big difference was quarters. The people I talked to at these companies who were in sales roles, and end of the quarter felt always like it's the end of life. They couldn't think about the week after or so. It was like
it's the end of life.
It was like, and it was, to be honest, pretty annoying for me, because it was always like, hey guys, relax, right? And I guess they earned probably also a lot more than I did, and they were very much focused on that. So. Maybe it would be interesting to understand like why, and at Staffbase we also look at quarters, right? Yeah. From a sales perspective, and you've been a sales leader for many years now, why do we think in quarters? Why does it make sense or not? Maybe what are the challenges? And I think you all know like Microsoft and others also think in quarters. And maybe hands up here, who of you thinks in quarters? Where is a quarter important for your business?
At least one, please. Oh, Michaela, she is on our team. All right, okay. Not our team.
So if you're not from Staffbase, for who of you is a quarter important?
Perfect. Okay. That's going to be easy. All right, so please note if I say something. Yeah. Yeah, and like I always wanted to know, so I volunteered for the first question. So Dan, tell us about quarters and why it matters. Yes. there's no better story than quarters. Why are we thinking quarters? So I'll start here. So Staffbase has investors because we started just relatively few years ago. Some of you will be running businesses that might have double, triple, quadruple sort of length and tenure. We are VC funded, which is venture capital funded. Venture capital sort of funding comes when they see opportunities for you to grow, so they fund you, and then what they want every quarter is a reporting on how we're doing, because they keep really close to what we're doing, and they want to see that we're doing really well. So I better report good results. So we have to put together our reporting, report it out to our investors. We have a board of investors which I meet every quarter. I show them where we are, what we hit, what we didn't hit. I always get a little bit of advice what I should be doing differently, and that's kind of part of the game. And so we have to report that way. So that's one. It is also a way for us to manage the business, because if you have this quarterly reporting, you can start looking where you are year on year, see the top level metrics, and that's what's driving a lot of decisions we make in the company. Now, what it doesn't help with is that my team will be pushing you to try to close something on a certain date of a month, because if you go one day later, that doesn't fit into our quarter, and you go like, what are you talking about? And you're like, hey, it really has to, be closed in December. It's even worse, it's the end of the fiscal, right? Like the end of the fiscal year, where we have to report the whole year and a quarter and everything, so it gets more complicated. So they're doing it because that's how we report. So when I report it to the board that we have closed that deal within the quarter, and I can report higher growth, they obviously give us credit for that, and we've got them off our back a little bit. But eventually when we go and we IPO, which is kind of, you become public, and you're reporting this, that drives the value of your stock, right? So at that point, your stock is public, everyone sees your kind of results, where you are with the revenue, and then this is what gets reported. So it drives your stock up and down. There are deals which are big enough to swing that number pretty significantly. So we're chasing everything that we can close in that quarter. On the other hand, you're going to have customers who will now trained to buy SaaS product, knowing that the vendor will have a quota. That's how I buy. So I also buy SaaS products for us, and because I'm in sales, and I've got a counterpart in sales, I say, when is the end of your quarter? They tell me when the end of the quarter is, and I got them at that point. Because then I can start negotiating, saying, okay, if we close it still this month, which is the end of your quarter, can we get a discount, right? This is how it works. So that's how professional procurement works these days. They know it. They will ask for it. We will probably do something to help them because you want them to buy. Is just part of the game. So please don't get upset when you see this. If you do help us close that in the quarter, our sales team will absolutely love you for that, because they really are stressed to get everything done. And it's for the reporting purposes, Philip.
And maybe one other thing that I see at the sales team, maybe I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, it helps to focus everyone in the sales team and also a customer on that thing, because it creates some sort of a date.
Compelling event.
A compelling event that you are working towards, and it's not about it just helps to focus everyone on that, because we start talking about it at some point, right?
Yes.
And it's really, compared to my old world that I know, inside a software company, a lot of deals actually come in the last week of a quarter.
Last day.
Yeah.
That's where my heartbeat goes like this, and we're still closing these deals at midnight, and I'm still looking what's going to come in.
And the interesting thing is nobody wants that way, but it's just, I think, a proof that it helps everyone involved, customer and everyone in the team, to actually work towards something, right? So
that's right.
That's also another thing. Okay, cool.
You can see I'm getting more and more grey hair the longer I'm in sales, and that's because of these quarters.
Cool.
That's what it does.
But thanks for the insight. Yeah. I think you had another question?
Yeah, unless anybody else has another one. There's one question that we've received from partners quite often during this year, especially from the Microsoft Valor reseller partners. They're asking us, Staffbase, are you going to approach my customers directly now with your sales team?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've heard that question before. I think this one doesn't have a clear yes or no answers, because what you're hearing when you're asking this question is that I've got a customer I'm working with actively on an opportunity, and you're going to come and touch that opportunity. So that's not going to happen. Yeah, if you have, what I'm asking for is that we have a clear process where if you have an opportunity with Staffbase, please raise it with us so we have it registered in Staffbase, we know about it, and then we're not going to go and obviously talk to that opportunity customer, the contact, which is part of the opportunity, as a separate conversation. We want you to sell more of Staffbase. We want you to be engaged with more Staffbase discussions. We're not going to compete with you on that opportunity. The only thing I'm asking is please do register that as soon as you can so that we know about it and we're not, we're not tripping over each other. That's super important. What might happen though is that you have a customer with whom you're talking about, I don't know, SharePoint or Salesforce, I don't know what, and we just happen to sell Staffbase to them. That might happen. So I don't know who your customer base is, and we keep on looking for more opportunities to sell. So we have a team of sales development that keeps, outbounding and sending emails and contacting prospects and so on. And they might start working with customer that happens to be your customer. That could happen. That is for me fair play because you have not seen that opportunity. We might have found an opportunity. If you come to us and say, I've been working on that opportunity as well, let's talk, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want that to be a conflict. For me, the ultimate goal is to find as many businesses, customers that could benefit from Staffbase and change the way they operate and the way they communicate. That's what I'm here to do. So if we can together join forces and make a change to our prospect, I want to make it happen. But we need to sit down and just chat about what is that collaboration going to look like. You could have a situation where you've got a fantastic relationship with everyone we need to talk to, and then, clearly this is a great partnership and let's work on that opportunity together. We could have a situation where you might be talking to a team in France and we're talking to a team in Germany and they are totally separate and we might see two opportunities. I don't know. It's just too difficult to describe. I would say just let us know, register the opportunities, we'll qualify it, and I want to find the most reasonable way forward so that ultimately the goal is for us to find joint business that we can do together. Yeah? Yes?
Thank you. You mentioned this impressive number of 200 salespeople at Staffbase. And in the morning we heard that you want to improve your partner program and to push your revenue with partners. Might it be an idea to bring some incentives for your sales reps, because we all knew in this room a salesman or woman brings high performance when their incentive is clear.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it the other way around. I'm removing blockers. So I'm just removing blockers from their comp plan that would decentivize them from working with partners. So for the sake of transparency, the account executives at Staffbase, they get paid the same on working with partners as not. At this point, it's super important because they want to work with partners more now because they actually do a lot of the heavy lift that they would otherwise have to do. Trust me, we have a lot of them who keep looking when there's a partner, they want them to be in because they will do a lot of the work as well, and they still get paid the same. So they are naturally incentivized to do it. There could be situations where you could see a bit of a pushback, and that for me is the one word that's super important in this room for you and for me, and is the word trust. Yeah, it's super important. We need to be in a place where we absolutely trust each other. You need to trust our team that they are not going to go and steal an opportunity or spoil it for you or bypass you and vice versa, right? Salespeople have to control things, and that please, just to understand their mentality. They have a hard job. I'm always going to give them high quota, which they have to hit. It's never going to be easy. That's my job to make their job difficult, and I always will. So they will be under pressure. And that quota needs to be hit. So they go like, oh, do I trust that this partner is going to close it or not? And that's the thing. So what I would strongly suggest, if you can, and I'm telling them the same, get on a call with the partner, understand the objectives, who's going to do what, make it super clear, and start working very closely together. The more we can inform each other on what we're doing, the more trust there is. Yeah, we have that partnership already. I'm just looking Workwine over there with the team in the UK. Moto, right, it was a fantastic deal. The team is now deploying it and so on. That was the kind of sales cycle which we're seeing. I'm UK based as well, so this one was close to me. So, but we have many, like MMS, Rolf got a lot as well. So this is the kind of working kind of relationship I would like us to build.
Okay.
Yeah.
My fingers are crossed.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, is there, we've been, oh, sorry.
Go for it.
So, yeah, we've been selling Valo products in the past, so we're not as familiar with the Staffbase sort of customers, I would say. Is there a particular kind of, your ideal company size, and are there any kind of particular sectors where you have more success than others that we could go after?
It's a fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I should have actually added it earlier. So yeah, there is a bit of a difference in the segments of prospects and customers you will go after when you sell Staffbase. To give you a sense, I'm looking at the Staffbase business we have. Historically, you usually see transactions somewhere around 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 euro. That's the kind of transaction. So average size of a transaction of Staffbase is between 60 to 80,000. At the land, when we expand, we 3x the size, meaning we land smaller deal and then we go into expansion mode, which is three times the size of that. But we have deals of 500,000 euro, million, and so on. That's not something you would see with Valo, but you see that with Staffbase. It's a much bigger average transaction size. That kind of transactions, you're not going to see that with the smaller, tiny corporate, we call them corporate segment or SMB segment, if you wish. You're going to see that with larger businesses. And this is where the value comes. So when you sell to customers who have maybe 30, 50, 100 employees, for them Staffbase is a bit too big. It's too expensive, and I'm going to be very open about it. That is not our market. That's not our segment. To get an employee app for someone that small, it just doesn't make sense. For them, probably having maybe all Microsoft, everything in one place, super easy. How many IT people will they have? Maybe one, maybe half. Part-time someone doing it. That's fine. For the larger enterprises, we already see huge value. This is where the complexity comes in. That's what we sell. So our segment are customers with 1,000 employees or more. That's where we're selling, right? That's where we resonate. It's because of the complexity, scope, number of employees, managing at scale, and that's what Staffbase does really well. The area where we resonate even furthermore is where you have a lot of frontline workers. That is historically where we have resonated. Particularly the app is a great product for that segment. So where you have 50% or more frontline workers, we almost always win. That's one which we know we go after, right? So healthcare, manufacturing, logistics, retail, this is our space. That's where we are very, very successful. Email is an interesting one. So email is one which is being picked up by tech companies, interestingly enough. So we have a lot of tech from California coming on board with email. They love that. They don't buy app. Their employees don't seem to, maybe, or at least the teams we work with, they don't see the app, but email is resonating a lot. So we're starting to segment that email might have slightly different audience. We have a lot of financial services with email. We have a lot of consulting companies. We have a lot of tech companies as well. So I maybe answered more than you asked for, but does that help?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Just wanted to add, Dan, to what you said. So the gentleman in the black jacket. I run one of the sales teams, and the attitude our team has is when a partner works with us on an opportunity, it really is a piece of teamwork. So Moto, with the 5 people from the UK, you can see, if you just pick a hand up briefly, guys. So Moto brought, Frank showed that graph earlier of revenue through Valo versus revenue through Staffbase. And Moto have actually worked with us on 2 really big opportunities in the UK this year. And my team and Mark's team were speaking every day about what was happening. So it was a real partnership. I don't think the attitude from our sales team is that they feel not incentivized to partner with you. So Dan's exactly right. Those blockers aren't there. And I think what you'll see, and I feel I can speak for you from the German region. So Simon, who runs that region, he has the same attitude. He really wants to partner with organisations that are going to help work together to get a better customer outcome. So I would implore everyone in here, really give your sales teams at Staffbase a chance by registering opportunities. They've been there, they've done it. they've sold these deals before, and both parties can really learn from each other to get a good outcome for your customer.
I think on the sales side, we also have a bit of the topic that Sven showed before. Like, there's also a bit of a history, I know, in terms of like how we solve with partners. But that's, I think it's then what you said is very good about removing blockers. I think that's
right.
very important. Cool. So do we have more questions? Yes. There is.
Let's go.
Wow.
What about competition? I mean, oh, sorry. What about competition? I missed the last session during the meeting, so sorry if that's.
Is that who is?
Who are the most that you come up with?
Who we compete with?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think. Let me put it this way. So Staffbase is a vendor that brings together all the channels that we feel matter. That's very unique to Staffbase, and that's why we differentiate from everyone else. But in every one of those channels, we have competitors. So I'll start with internet that obviously you all know about. So although we see Microsoft as a partner, we also sometimes compete. There are different segments of industries where Microsoft will resonate more. There's more of a history. There is more sometimes a view of what internal comms mean versus collaboration and so on. This is a discussion that goes on and on. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. It really depends, right? What I would just say at this point is that about 95% of our enterprise customers also have Microsoft 365. So let me put it this way. It's not that they decide one or the other. They always have to have a collaboration platform, and Microsoft is the most successful collaboration platform, without any doubt. I hardly see anyone with Google, but sometimes, but not very often. And they decide to have Staffbase and Microsoft together. That's the intranet space. We have some other intranet vendors like Interact, Unily. I just don't see them very often. I saw them when I started 1.5 years ago. I don't see them now. It's literally very unique situations where I sometimes see them in the early stage of an RFP. When you go into the app space, there are a lot of, this is quite a segmented market. Ours is focused on employee communications, which is very specific, and it's very closely tied to our platform, but you will see vendors who sell just an app. So if you go around the world, you're gonna see competitors like Flip in DACH, First Up in North America, Blink in the UK, SpeakUp in the Netherlands and around the Nordics and then Benelux. I can go on. There's a lot of smaller vendors that actually do something similar. I would say the big one would be globally First Up, probably. That's the one which I would consider bigger than others. But usually we see ourselves win. Occasionally we might lose on price because they also need to get their first customer, and it's kind of the ankle-biting kind of situation where someone underprices you to the point that it doesn't make sense for us. But it happens, but mostly we would see ourselves win. When it comes to email, the one competitor in email is a company called Populo, which you might see occasionally as well. Populo comes to email in a slightly from a different place, because they also have email sitting on a bit of a platform, whereas ours was a channel brought to a platform. It's just a different way of doing it. So Populo, you will see kind of particularly in the North American market, UKI, probably the most where you see them. That's our competitor there. Where we are more and more successful, so we mentioned some of the big logos, like the GEs, the Walgreens, and those global deals. These are customers who are buying the entire platform, and that's where we resonate. That is the platform play where they say, I want to have all the channels. I want to find employees where the employees are, not through the channel that I mandate. And that's where Staffbase comes to surface, and that makes sense for them. So the General Electric brought all of the channels into a platform. Yeah, so that's just an example where we outperform our competitors. Is that, yeah? Oh, okay.
Mostly around the other topics than the internet, which you of course know very well, the other areas, and the platform approach.
Yeah. So you will encounter competitors. What I would suggest, if you get into a sales conversation, discussion with customers, bring us in. I kind of feel there's a lot of enablement. I met yourselves as well yesterday, but I had 7 meetings with 7 different organizations who are in the room now. And one of the questions that came up, which is very important for me, is the whole thing, okay, how do I start? Let's say I do convince you, and we convince you this week that there's something in here, and I hope we will, and I hope you will enjoy employee comms like we do. Now, if you do that, how do you start, right? Where do how do you go and play this with your prospects? So I want to make sure that you know you will get our support. So just let us know conversations you want to go into. Do register that opportunity with us, so we know we're not going to go there just in case we don't kind of trip over each other. But I want to provide you with the support you need so that you can go and successfully sell. We can shadow you into the meetings. We can provide you with the collateral. So I want to do all of that so you are enabled to answer questions around, well, it's Staffbase versus someone else. We will give you that collateral. We have it. This is how we sell. So you have us. Just let us know. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
One other thing about competition. The most important competition is actually companies doing nothing.
Oh yeah.
Right. So might be a easy one, but I think especially for mobile, especially if you're coming from a Microsoft Value environment. I've seen this with partners, value partners as something like, and also from an IT perspective, you always look at the users, the Microsoft users and the licenses. And you're often there at your customers, you have frontline employees, you never talked about them because they are not in focus of the IT. So we see clearly value in terms of going to these customers and raising the topic, like what are you planning with your frontline employees? Right? We have an idea of what to do about it. Should we talk about it? Should we show you something? Right? So I think that's another point that can come in and where partners play a huge role in just creating projects out of this. Cool. More questions? Yes.
Yeah.
Just to kind of circle back to the training side of things, what kind of materials will you provide the sales staff at partner companies? Will there be drop-in training sessions, or you mentioned collateral, but is there more of a structured training program?
Yes, and I'll be transparent and open because I don't want to manage expectations to the point where you think you come in and there's a ready-to-go product. We are hiring a head of partner enablement function who is going to shape it into a true product. So to be very clear, what's going to happen now if you call me tomorrow is going to be, tell me about the opportunity, tell me what you need, and I'll send you something. It's not going to be structured, we will pull it together. It's going to be good, but it's not going to be like ready-to-go product. But we're building it out. So that's part of this partner program where Juha has literally an open role on his team for a partner enablement manager who will build out this program. We want to take it into certification so you can also put it on your sales decks and the customers can see that you know Staffbase very well. And that will also enable us to pull you into our opportunities where we have things like implementation. I need to know who can build things, and then when we see it, we can bring you in. Yeah? So expectations here for now, but we will get it done, but we're going to make it really good.
I have another one coming from I think many of the partners here come from the Microsoft ecosystem and work with Microsoft solutions and technologies widely. Now, one thing that all has been acknowledged by Microsoft as the sort of best practice and co-sell IP, etc. So, is there plans on what are your plans on developing the Microsoft channels in terms of the Microsoft collaboration and what we can go from there?
In terms of product integrations, or?
Well, it's about product, yeah. Basically, when we sell and when we interact with our customers, it's very often from the sort of Microsoft. At the moment, the existing customers, they're like Microsoft platform customers to us.
Yeah.
And so everything that's like badged with something Microsoft certified or best practice or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So what is this sort of cooperation and partnership with Microsoft from staff? I'm not sure if I'm making this very clear.
Yes, you are. I understand now. Yeah, I get it. So I think the challenge is if we don't give you the right talk track, you could end up kind of butting heads against Microsoft, which I don't want you to do. I don't want my sellers to do that. It's not going to be a winning battle because I don't want them to start positioning us as a collaboration platform, and the customer misunderstands and says, I don't see this at all. Why even here? So what I need to do, and we're doing now, is to basically creating a talk track for our sales team and you, which we will share through this platform, on how to position Staffbase with Microsoft. Because if the customer does have Microsoft, they should be asking a question: how does this work together? Am I just building another silo here whilst I have something here? I don't want to create that friction. We want to bring it together, and that's the talk track we will give you. So I think right now what's important is the Staffbase positions itself as a employee communications or communications platform through which you communicate. So you come to Staffbase, communicate, and sending information out to Microsoft channels as well. That's how we talk about it. If the customer says, I want to do everything through Microsoft, I don't see a point of doing this, then we don't have a conversation that allows us to sell anything. It needs to be that first discussion, and I can give you more materials on that. So Juha wants to jump in.
Yeah, I'd like to help to elaborate on that question a little bit more, to be a little bit more precise. So Valo was or is a so-called IP co-sell prioritized product. Microsoft apparently has an internal catalog, some kind of a portal where they go when they get signals, when they get requests from their customers, and they go there and they say, oh, these are the IP co-sell prioritized products. What it means is it's a lot about the Azure consumption. Okay, so if a product is built in a way that it has Azure consumption, which I believe Staffbase does a lot, actually more than Valo, then we can be IP co-sell or IP co-sell prioritized. The other kind of speech or spiel we have with Microsoft, because we've been working on this, like how to approach the Microsoft people specifically, is the so-called Teams as a platform, which was a more recent development in Valo, which it means that some CSMs at Microsoft are measured by certain like Teams consumption metrics. So we understood that being a so-called Teams as a platform certified product, like allow the CSM to, you know, make their numbers one way or the other. So that's kind of, I guess, what Tutu was asking, is if we are going to have that. And I don't know the specifics of Staffbase architecture, but yeah, Frank wants to add.
Yeah, I think on one side, there's clearly the Azure side, where Microsoft is very much supporting us. We're also right now working on a press release together with Microsoft, because they're very proud that we are now moved to Azure. Yeah, to that, right? So like, we promise to be transparent, and I think in this transparency, like the Azure team loves us. There was a kickoff of the year. Staffbase was specifically mentioned there as a huge deal for Microsoft that we are going to Azure, and also for us it's a success story. We expected churn with our customers moving from another platform to Azure with German customers because they were kind of scared of Microsoft. We had zero churn with that. I think that's fantastic. We also see in our stability of the system, like we made huge steps now with Microsoft on Azure as a platform because it's a great platform. So performance is better, reliability is better. That's a real success story, and you will see us celebrate it in public together with Microsoft. Now on the Microsoft 365 side of things, it's more complicated, because there are some deals where we are together, but there are clearly deals where they see us as a competition, because if you go out to a customer with 10,000 frontline employees, and a Microsoft person will say, hey, you just need Teams, roll this out, it's so easy, which is obviously not is for frontline side of things. And we come in and say, for frontline stuff is actually the better solution. So in these topics, we are actually competing. I can tell you in these topics, if you want to learn more, you can also talk to Felicia. Here she's with the red jacket there, which is talking on a very regular basis with Microsoft, looking for cases. We talk to Microsoft, the customer success team. They are very interested in what we are doing, how we are doing it, and it's a mix of we want to cooperate and they want to understand why we are successful, to be honest, right? So it will be, it's not going all be honeymoon friendship moving forward. It's both sides, but as one, like the head of, I think Microsoft, one of the leaders of Microsoft in Germany said, actually, we are so big as Microsoft, we kind of compete against pretty much every other vendor in the market for business software. So that's a normal thing to do. And I think that's kind of the situation we are also in. I hope this helps as an answer.
If you get to the co-sell, IP co-sell and prioritized space, then that has direct impact on a partner's business in terms of go-to-market actions with Microsoft. They fund the marketing of such products and campaigns locally. So it's basically marketing money for us. And then on the other hand, the sort of the roadmap and vision that you have for the Microsoft channels as part of Staffbase platform, if you can create a symbiosis in the sense that if the customer implements and adoptions the platform, then that drives to the usage of Teams, for instance, through the channels, and really a different picture.
Yeah. That's exactly the discussion we are having. And I think we're going to be there, and you will see activities from Staffbase to be even closer to Microsoft and also kind of on the public side. But there will always be a certain competitive question. So
but let us know if you actually see those conversations. I have to say we have not yet been on a call with Microsoft positioning Staffbase. I have not seen it. What's important here is like who's our buyer, right? Our buyer is an employee communications team or communications team, and they tend to ask less questions on this. They want to see that the tool does what it needs to do in order for them to complete the job. If you do see conversations around this, obviously do let us know. What Frank was talking about, providing you the collateral, very, very happy to do this. From our sales standpoint, I just have not seen it yet, so you would also be the first ones telling me that this is happening. I would love to see it too, so let me know. Right?
Yeah, back here in the fuck-up corner. I wanted to add one thing. There was a question earlier on how Staffbase supports partners with enablement, etc. Right? And Dan said that there's going to be this partner enablement person soon, which I think is going to be fantastic for partners. I just wanted to add a couple of more points, especially if you have questions around product, how we can already support you today. So one thing is we have a help desk support portal, support.staffbase.com. It has very in-depth documentation around the product, about all the features that are in there, email, app intranet, it's all in there. So check it out, especially if you're new to those products. Developers.staffbase.com was mentioned earlier. Very thorough documentation on all integration options. And the last one I wanted to mention, we have a specific person, a product partnership manager. If you're interested in building a product business on top of your partner business, so if you want to build Staffbase plugins, standard functionality basically that multiple different customers can use. We have some partners that do that, Blue Consult, MMS, for example. Then this person is also for you. So just wanted to say, I think that partner enablement manager is going to be a dream for all of you. But beyond that, there's a couple of more resources available.
Okay, so we have 6 minutes left. Is there a last question? Oh yes,
okay.
there is.
Hi. If I can reverse previous questions about Microsoft. 1.5 years ago, we lost a deal from a hotel management chain with 5,000 employees because of the frontline workers, because being a valid partner, we needed Microsoft licenses for all of them, and the hotel chain refused. They had 500 administrative staff with licenses, and the rest did not have. So could this be
let's go back.
Our USP?
That's it.
Now that as Staffbase partners, that we can approach corporations that don't want or don't need to license all the employees with M365.
Absolutely. So that's what happens very often with the frontline employees. They buy our app very often, and it's just very simple to use. It's on your mobile. They've got access to all they need. It doesn't go further than that. Just keeping it very, very simple and economical. So we believe if you compare the cost of the Staffbase app, for us it's very good business. Compared to Valo, it's going to be much bigger business. But compared to how much they would pay for the F1 licenses, it's still going to be cheaper. So. Yeah, absolutely. We can chat. Okay.
Cool. I think let me just have a brief look at the agenda. We are back at in 15 minutes. So, sorry.
Thank you so much.